Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic and you are watching Geekin. And for today's video, I would like to talk about Fan Expo Philadelphia 2023. Yes, on June 2nd through the 4th, Philadelphia had a fan convention called Fan Expo Philadelphia. I was told that this is a replacement of Wizard World. I guess that no longer exists, but what do I know? I'm out of the loop. Anyway, I was able to attend. I found out about it on Wednesday? Went right before the convention, so I had 48 hours to pretty much just change all my plans because I had discovered that the man himself, Mr. Optimus Prime, Peter Cullen, was going to be there, and I was determined to meet him. Now, you don't need the play-by-play movements of everything that I did. I mean, heck, I don't even remember half of it myself at this point. But I would like to talk about some of the highlights, some of the cool things that I got, and perhaps the one low point that I experienced at the convention that I would kind of like to address. Maybe, hopefully, someone will see this, but probably not. But let's find out. Now, this was my first time going to Fan Expo, and I have to say it looked like a pretty big event. There were celebrities, both big and small, most of which I never actually got the privilege to meet. But there were people like Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, whoever played Biff Tannen. I don't remember his name now, unfortunately. There was Peter Cullen, of course. There was Tara Strong, a voice actor who I really would have liked to have met, but, maybe next time. The guy Steve from Blue's Clues. There was anime voice actors. I think the guy who voiced Cell was there. I don't remember his name, unfortunately. And a bunch of other people. Peter Weller from RoboCop. All sorts of, voice actors, and in front of the screen and behind the screen, regular actors. So there was a lot going on. A lot of reasons for fans to come to this. Of course, my girlfriend and I saw a lot of really cool cosplayers. We got to talk to a lot of artists in Artist Alley, and I love conventions. I really frickin' do. 2020 not included in this, but since 2019, I have been trying to at least attend one convention a year. That's been my minimum goal, and I've managed to do that. Even I think last year I attended 2 conventions, J1 Con and I think it was TF Con. I think I did both. And so I love going to conventions. I love seeing the cosplayers. I love talking to the artists in Artist Alley. I met some indie comic creators. Got a couple of autographs. So did my girlfriend. And it was just an overall fun event, for the most part. But I will get to that, for the most part later. Grimm Fairy Tales Robin Hood Origins by Xenoscope. I got to meet the artist, Pat Shand. He signed my book for me. Oh, right there. He signed my book for me. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. However, while at conventions, I do enjoy buying toys and Transformers and stuff that that I'm either looking for, I want to get, or I'm hungry for, or whatever. But sometimes when I'm at these cons, I love to just buy art from artists, like whether they're prints or originals. I try to get that stuff because I want things hanging up on my wall. I used to have this wall of other people's art that I used to use as inspiration for when I draw. I have been a huge sucker for bookmarks these days, and these aluminum bookmarks of the Millennium Falcon and the Enterprise were just 2 things I could not pass up. However, that didn't stop me, well, first off, from getting this Kenner Tauntaun, but he was just the bonus. I even found another Kenner AT-AT for my collection. Now, it's missing a couple of pieces, like the side panel. It does have the canopy, though. Missing some guns. Does have the battery compartment, though. And this will make a nice companion piece to the one my cousin gave me about 6 years ago. Link will be at the bottom. I mean, this is like 6 years ago. But either way, I now have 2 Kenner AT-ATs. I'm pretty happy about that. Anyway, that's not what I really wanted to talk about today. Just the swag is all the bonus stuff. What I came here for is Peter Cullen. Now, when my girlfriend and I first got to the convention center, the place was huge. I had forgotten how big the Philly Convention Center was because it's been like 10 or 12, 15 years since I've even been there. So we're wandering around. The place is packed. Vendors everywhere, artists, comic book guys, but we're working our way until we found the autograph section, which was towards the back. And I did see a few names that I recognized, a lot that I didn't, but then I saw the line for Peter Cullen. Now, he was not there yet, and it was only like 11:30 in the morning, and he was not due to be there until about 1:30, I think. However, there was already a line starting. Not a big line. It was maybe 12, 15 people in line, but I was like, you know what? I want to meet this man. I'm going to get in line right now so that I don't miss this opportunity. Now, to make a long story short, about a year and a half ago, I hurt myself. I hurt myself up to the point where, I got a bad leg sometimes, and sometimes it hurts to walk. Sometimes it's excruciating to walk, and it sucks. And for big days that I am at a convention, let's say, I sometimes bring my cane. Today was one of those days. I knew I was going to be doing a lot of walking. I knew my leg was going to be hurting. So I just brought the cane as a precautionary because, going like a mile or something back to the parking lot to grab the thing would not have been a smart idea. And it was a good idea because, I stood there for 2 hours. I stood there with my backpack, my sketch pad, because I brought artwork for Mr. Cullen to sign. And, there I stood. I was talking to some fans. We were bullshitting for a little bit, talking about experience. I was talking to one guy who'd seen Peter Cullen like 3 or 4 times. It was like every 7 years or something he had seen him. And, just swapping stories. There was one guy who was wearing a full body suit of Optimus Prime. It was homemade. The guy looked awesome. He even had, I think a microphone to help boom his voice, and it was cool. He was, walking around. He was in line, too. He was put to the front of the line. We all kind of agreed that he should go up there first. But it was an amazing costume. But we're there. It's 11:30. We're there. We're just kind of waiting, and crowd slowly getting larger. And the way the line was set up, it was kind of like a zigzag. It was kind of like the front of the line, and then dun, 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 dun. Almost like a Pac-Man maze, but, But it was a coherent system, or at least we all thought it was a coherent system. And it made sense at the time. So, people were just getting in line, and, again, you're standing there for 2 hours. Your feet are starting to hurt. I had to lean on that cane a little bit more than I really wanted to. So while I'm waiting in line, my girlfriend decided she really wanted to meet Henry Winkler. And I was like, look, he's already there at his table. Just go do it now. Go do it now because I still have like an hour left here. Go do that. And so she met Henry Winkler. She got his autograph. She got her picture. It was squeezing her a little bit too tight there, but whatever. Whatever. He's the Fonz. Anyway, according to my girlfriend, Henry Winkler was really nice, very friendly. She got the autographed pictures of him from the Scream movie, and they were chatting, and it was cool. I wish I'd been there, but she was really happy to meet him. Anyway, time is rolling on. We're getting to 1 o'clock, 1:15. You see the aides start putting out the pictures and stuff, getting the table ready. Peter Cullen comes out, everyone starts clapping, and then the aides, the staff, started taking the first line and moved them to the opposite side of the massive line, because I guess they were starting from the left, even though we were all funneling through to the right. And we were following staff's instructions, mind you. So we all funneled into the right side, but then we're escorted to the left of the line, and then, redirected up to the table. And, wow. Before I continue, I just want to make it clear, I am not here to blame anyone. I am not going to put anyone specifically on blast. I really don't know if this was an accident or mismanagement of, or poor leadership. I really don't know. So the first wave of fans had already met Peter Cullen. I was kind of in the second wave. Like I said, I was 14, 15 fans deep. So I was like the start of the second wave, or at least I would have been the second wave. What happened was I was escorted, again, like the first wave, escorted to the front, to the left of the group, and there was maybe 1 or 2 people ahead of me. And then the staff, mind you, there weren't a lot of staff for Peter Cullen's table. There was maybe one person trying to organize trying to herd a bunch of cats, basically. And next thing I know, one staff was shuffling another group along. But that group did not get behind me. That group ended up getting in front of me. And it was just like, it was one of those situations, and I say this comedically, not literally, but it was almost like society was starting to break down. It wasn't like anyone turned violent, but people were starting to get upset because the staff just let an entire line of people cut in front of the previous line. And next thing you knew, other lines were breaking ranks, and just like 4 or 5 lines of people just started to converge on Peter Cullen, and it just got ridiculous. Like it just fell apart. There was no leadership. There was no organization. I don't know. Maybe the staff were underpaid. They were definitely overwhelmed, because there was like 1, maybe 2 staff at most, when there should have been 3 or 4, like, to organize it or something. Or maybe had they had like the rope lines, like you do at a club or something, like have the rope barriers, that would have made things a lot clearer for fans, so that this wouldn't have happened. But it did happen. And next thing you know, only like maybe a half an hour had rolled by. It might have been like 2 o'clock. That's when the guy said, well, Mr. Cullen's got to leave. He's got to do his next panel. And I'm like, dude, I've been here for like 2.5 hours. Like, I was here for 2 hours, and you let an entire line of people cut in front of the second wave of people. What's going on here? So, I mean, again, no one got nasty. I was angry. I was definitely angry, and a lot of other fans were angry. Fortunately, no one got out of line, no violence, no one was throwing curses. Everyone was angry but civil, I guess you could say. But, Mr. Cullen had to go to his other panels, that's understandable, and we pretty much got assurances that we would be in the first of the line when he came back at 4. We all got, like, tickets, and it was a color-coded ticket basically saying that we were all going to be at the first of the line. We were all going to get the priority treatment because we kind of got ripped off. And that was fine. I felt like I missed my opportunity. I felt like, oh man, this is just going to go downhill. This is going to suck. I came here for nothing. I was feeling very dejected. I was feeling very upset because the whole reason why I came to this convention was to meet Peter Cullen. My girlfriend and I, we went to lunch. We did some shopping in the dealer's area. 4 o'clock rolls by. Again, another crowd is forming. And I'm talking to one of the staff. I'm like, hey, you remember me, right? Because I kind of made a little, I kind of voiced my my concern here because I'd been here. Like, yeah, no, they remembered me. And I say that as if I went full Karen. I did not, I promise you. I was actually even telling the staff, I'm like, look, no one's blaming you. It's all cool. Shit happens. But, but they remembered me. And, I have to say, this is one of those situations where I actually kind of I was a little glad that I hurt myself a year and a half ago, because at this point of the day, it's like 4 o'clock, I am hobbling on that cane. Like, I'm like, ugh. Some days, unfortunately, are like that, and I'm glad I brought that thing with me. So, I think some of the staff took a little bit of pity on me, and they made sure that I was, like, maybe second or third person in line at that point. Even though I had the ticket, they kind of rushed me in a little bit because I was having a legit problem walking for a while there. But there it was. I paid my fee to meet Mr. Cullen. I got my sketchbook ready. My sketchbook, because I had drawn something. I had drawn a piece of fan art that I wanted Mr. Cullen to sign. And I met him. I shook his hand. I said, "Hey, I'm glad to have finally met you. I grew up with Transformers. You voiced one of my childhood heroes. I just wanted to thank you." And Peter Cullen was very gracious. He was very nice. I got the vibe that he did appreciate his fans. He signed my drawing, and I gave him a gift. 2020. I think we all remember that. COVID masks. So, during that dark time in human history, my mom kept herself very busy by fashioning her own COVID masks, like, multiple layers and all that. She followed the diagrams and all that to make her own. But she made, like, when I say she made custom COVID masks, she didn't just make the mask. She did like practically did a whole face thing. Optimus Prime, Dinobot, Megatron. Take your pick on Megatron. Power Rangers, and not just and she gave a bunch of masks to me. She gave masks out as Christmas presents. She made custom masks. Like, she could have made a killing if she was just a little bit money hungry. But no, she just made them, gave them away, and I had commissioned her. I asked her to make an Optimus Prime mask, and she made it, put it together, and I gave it to him, and he seemed very grateful. I'm like, look, you can, it's there if you ever want to use it. And it's a nice little Optimus Prime mask, and I think he appreciated it. And so here, Peter Cullen signed my Optimus Prime fan art. You can see it right there. And quite frankly, I'm very happy the way this turned out. I mean, I only had 48 hours to put this thing together, and this is about 12 hours worth of work. But I was pretty happy the way this came out, because I'm not gonna lie, perspective is not my strong suit, so I kind of have to do this stuff to get better. But yes, Peter Cullen signed my artwork. I achieved my goal by Saturday. The rest of the frickin' convention, I had no idea what else I wanted to do. Funny thing, I actually have my own custom Optimus Prime mask, and I don't think I wore it once during the convention. Kinda ironic, I guess. Aside from this, kerfuffle that happened with the line, I'm glad I got to meet Peter Cullen. This was actually one of my goals for 2023. I was planning on seeing Peter Cullen this year. I just had no idea I was going to have 48 hours notice to get my ass ready to go to this convention, because I was on Instagram and I saw, Fan Expo, Philadelphia, Peter Cullen. What? Yes, I am going to change all my plans for this weekend on the spur and just do this. But yeah, I was disappointed with how the staff was organized. Again, I'm not blaming anybody specific, because I don't know what went wrong. Was it an accident, or were they just had minimal staff? Did they not think Peter Cullen was going to be that big of a deal? I don't know. Or was management just not paying attention, not doing their jobs? I don't know what the problem was. I bet you there were some fans out there who never got to see Peter Cullen and were hoping to do so because of this. And that's frustrating. That's got to be frustrating to any fan, because Peter Cullen is 80. Man, it's not going to be around forever. Who knows? Who knows what time our ticket gets punched? I'm grateful that I was able to meet him and thank him and have him sign my artwork. But some people might not get that opportunity because of perhaps this, goof that happened during the autograph line. Who's to say? And again, I don't want to make too fun a point. It didn't wreck my weekend. It was a frustration. It didn't wreck it. I don't like I said, I don't want to come off as too salty. But, as a guy who has years of customer service experience, I guess I know how to point out bad customer service. And, hopefully everyone who was in line got to meet him and didn't have that opportunity denied to them because of outside forces beyond their control. Still, all things considered, we had a great time at Fan Expo Philadelphia. I got to meet Peter Cullen. My girlfriend got to meet Henry Winkler, and she also met Jodie Benson, the voice actress of The Little Mermaid. She even got a nice picture of the both of them. Not at the same time, just she got a picture of both of them. And, it was a good time. I got to meet some artists. We got to meet the illustrator of Goosebumps. He was very friendly. And, got some cool artwork. Got to support some artists. And overall, it was fun. I think I'll come back to next year's Fan Expo Philadelphia. Hopefully maybe I'll meet Christopher Lloyd or somebody. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Anyway, I think that's enough out of me. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin', and I will see you next time.